This one, take it a little bit lighthearted because it's not really that big of a deal. But I know there's a large group of people that could be upset with me.
Okay. Howdy, Meowers. My name is Fury X-atron, and I am back with Devin today, and we are going to discuss in this new BlushCat podcast episode, Kpop Red Flags.
That might be one of the best names you've ever had.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, we're doing Kpop Red Flags today. Did you need me to explain that?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, I'm prepared to explain today. So everybody, what's up? How's it going? Your day's about to get that much better. Thank you for listening.
True, not wrong.
Today, we're talking about K-pop red flags. Now, this means we're going to be listing off some possibly spicy takes, okay? So be prepared. But at the same time, we held back a little bit, okay? Because we know that some of you are fragile at heart. So we're listing some things that are not deal breakers. Don't get it confused with that. A red flag is something that you hear about a person and you kind of think, really? Like, I don't know how I feel about you then. Oh, I'm questioning whether I can trust your opinion. Oh,
Yeah,
like things like that.
It makes me question your taste a bit.
Yes, it puts a red flag up that's sort of like, warning, let's, think about this for a second.
Yeah, and these red flags that we're bringing to you today are unserious in a way. Like, they're not super, like, obviously there's things that would definitely be a red flag, but like maybe not unserious, like, because it's like, yeah, it kind of would be a red flag, I guess, but like lighthearted.
Yeah, like we're not out here trying to start something, we're just having fun. So alongside that sentiment, we're also going to be keeping it pretty casual today. We don't have like an extreme defined list or number that we're going to work with. We each have some things that we thought of that we threw together, and we'll just keep it like a discussion, if anybody wants to chime in. Oh, that makes me think of one. Like, we're going to be real casual here today.
Right. Sounds good. So should we, both start with the same red flag that kind of inspired this episode?
Okay, sure. We know this one. So, it's a red flag if you hate ampersand one, sheesh. Exactly. That's right. I know. Everyone's like, true. It's just, in my opinion, I just feel like, I mean, I can understand if you're like, I don't really care for it, maybe, but yeah. To hate it, how can you look at that piece of art and hate it? I just
can't. It's impossible. Red flag.
Yeah, I would really be like, what is wrong with you? I would be concerned, at least.
Yeah, I mean, you heard us. You heard us talking about sheesh for the very first time when it was fresh and new. It was so new that I think when we recorded the episode where we talked about it, like the dance practice had just come out, and I was like, I don't know what's happening here, but you know what? It's not that bad. And now sheesh is just so iconic, so incredible that you basically have to like sheesh. You can't hate sheesh red flag.
Yeah, it's like an anthem. It's like, it's just, man, it's good. Yeah, so a lot of the direction that I went with this was things that were like so unproblematic. Like, how could you hate this thing? But they don't all have to be that way. But that's like the direction a lot of mine went.
Okay, I've taken it in a direction of like some of them I have personal stakes in, and I'm like, personally for me this is like a red flag, but a lot of mine are based off of things that I have actually heard people say.
Oh, okay.
And so mine are like, seriously, like you think that type of thing, because like I know that is a popular opinion or like a general consensus.
Okay, that's exciting.
So why don't you go and share one?
Okay, well, this one's not that interesting because I'm just going to be building off of what we just said, basically. But in even more general sense, hating ampersand one, like that is a red
Okay.
flag. Okay, if they're not your favorite group, sure. If you don't like them, okay, I don't really know what's wrong with you, but but if you hate them, if you're like, oh my, ampersand one, no, I'm like, what? What did they ever do to anybody? They have literally only been out here creating masterpieces and having a good time. So I really don't understand how someone in this current climate could hate ampersand one and have it not be a red flag.
I absolutely agree with you.
Thank you.
That is definitely a red flag, and you really need to do some self-reflecting if you hate ampersand one. And yes, agreed. That's a red flag.
Okay, thank you for validating it.
You're welcome.
How about you?
Okay, I am going to say that my first, individual red flag would be, and okay, let me give some backstory before I say the red flag. I get into these, bouts of like certain songs that are just so iconic, and I'm like listening to it 24/7. And some of these songs come and go, like I'll do that with them more than once. I'm saying, not like, oh, I like it for a while and then I don't and then I do. Like, I'm saying, like, it'll become extra iconic than it already was for a while. And right now that's happening with Gravity My Turn. And so my red flag would be not singing along to Gravity My Turn.
Skirt.
Like,
That makes sense.
I get not liking that song, sure. It's a bit out there. It's a bit bold. There's a lot going on. So maybe it's not your like preferred listening taste. But if you're choosing to actively listen to Gravity My Turn, or if like somebody puts it on and it's like on in like the vicinity, and like you hear the rooms and like you aren't singing along to that, red flag.
Okay, I get that. It's sort of like, are you dead inside? Like what?
Like, you have to let it overtake you.
Right,
the best
right.
way to enjoy Gravity My Turn is to just let it consume your entire being, and then you'll be in the same position that I'm in, and you'll have it on like several times in a row.
Okay. I get that. I
So,
get that.
Like I said, pretty unserious red flag, but still.
Okay, I'll do another. Gosh, I feel like I've already gotten rid of all of the like. There's only one more sort of basic one, and then I realized the rest of my list is kind of a little bit spicy. But I tried to leave the spiciest ones out of this. I was like, let's not go there. But okay, so I guess I'll do another sort of generic one. It's a red flag if you don't like, and by that I don't mean like you don't actively like, because there's a difference. If you say like I don't like chocolate, usually that means like you actively don't like it, right? Like you're not just saying it's not something that I like, it's something that I feel indifferent
Right.
about.
I've heard you're actively liking thing before.
So yeah, I'm not saying don't like as in you don't actively like these people. I'm saying if you actively dislike, like you'd be like, oh, I don't like them.
Okay. Actively dislike.
Yes. So not liking Shonu, Yanon, Leah, or Anton.
Okay.
I've compiled a group of
Anton
people.
made it in. It's a win.
A group of people that are just so unproblematic that like I don't understand where that dislike is coming from. I can understand if for these people they're not your bias, they're not your favorite, you maybe feel indifferent towards them, but to actively dislike them, it's like, why? What? Are you just a hateful person? That's the way that I feel about it.
Okay, valid. Valid, agreed once again. I agree.
And I mean, obviously, I don't, maybe there is a reason to dislike these people that I don't know about. We're always here to say, hey, this is our opinions on these people as they are publicly. We don't know these people. So we're not trying to be crazies that are like, you could never dislike this. I would disown them in a second. If they did something terrible, I am not here to keep supporting them. But I haven't heard anything yet. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go right ahead and say that a red flag is thinking Inkigayo is the best music show.
Ooh, okay.
Because honestly, are we watching the same Inkigayo? Like, let alone, aside from all of the actual controversies and stuff and, bad, setup, everything, like, the audio and the visual quality. The visual quality, they're really aiming to fix these days. I do see that they're trying, but the audio is just so terrible. I don't understand how you could be like, yes, another Inkigayo performance. Like, I get why you could think that a specific Inkigayo stage is really good because it might have really good costumes or set design or something like that. But to, like, consistently be like, this is the best music show, or even, you might like it because of the MCs or something like that. But just in general, come on.
Yeah. The outfits and the sets usually can be pretty top tier, but ever since it was pointed out to me how bad the audio was, and I read someone saying that it sounded like they were singing through a washing machine, I really just... my jaw will drop every time still. I'm like, this is really the audio right now. This is really what it sounds like. Like, the tin can that they are singing through is just always there. It's never not a tin can.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I'm like, are these people that upload the performances to YouTube aware of what they're uploading? Like, do they know it's that bad? Because to me, it's like, they would have fixed it by now if they know that it's bad. So it makes me believe that they don't know it's that bad, but it is. Red flag. Your turn.
So bad. Yeah, I take like a slightly more boring stage background for decent audio. Definitely. Okay, so I'll say, because you said something kind of similar, I'll do this one. Now, it's a little spicy, okay? But it's kind of a red flag for me personally if you think that ZB1 music videos are top tier.
Okay.
I just don't know where you're gonna find the points to convince me. So
yeah, like top tier is...
yeah, like if you are out there being like, oh my god, ZB1's music video, let me tell you all the reasons why it's fantastic and perfect, flawless, I'm gonna be like, no, I don't think we watched the same thing. So that personally is a bit of a red flag for me. I think that they've got some room for improvement in the field of music videos specifically.
Yeah. Similarly,
okay,
I'll say that it's a red flag if music videos that have an LA or New York City or like general city in the West and or like cowboy type aesthetic are like your favorite type of music videos. Red flag.
That's a good one.
Sorry.
That's a good one. Yeah, like I can see that one. Like, it's a red flag of like personal taste. Like, the person's personal taste is that as their favorite. Like, that's kind of like, really?
Yeah.
I get that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will build right off of that.
Okay,
I think it's a red flag. People are gonna hate me for this one.
Uh-oh.
I think it's a red flag if your favorite K-pop song or I don't know, I guess I could say more specifically, your favorite BTS song is Permission to Dance.
Agreed. I've got that on my list. Like, well, similarly about Permission to Dance. Like,
yeah, like if it's the only song you know from BTS or from K-pop and you like it, I guess that's one thing and it's kind of like your genre. But like if you're in K-pop, like if you're and you're picking that as your favorite, I don't know, man.
That's like, yeah, I don't, and like the dance too, especially if that's factored in.
Yeah, like I get if you enjoy it, like you're like, oh, it's fun. Let's have a happy time.
Yeah, like maybe just feel good.
Yeah. Then I get that, but I would question if you're really gonna write that down as number one.
Okay.
There's so many. Okay.
I will say, I guess, for the next red flag that I have is hating Pentagon round 1 or round 2. Because I know that people don't like these songs, like, and I'm not saying that's a general universe consensus, and I'm saying universe Pentagon fans, not like the whole world. But I'm saying, like, I've heard people say this that aren't Pentagon fans, and you just do not get it. Like, if you're saying, oh, round 1, like, you're listening to that song and enjoying it, and they hear, like, Shinwon screaming, and they're like, okay, like, I don't like that song. It's, like, kind of trash. Like, you don't get it. Big red flag. Those songs are so fun, and, like, what other K-pop group is making songs like that? Like, you have to stand Pentagon to be able to have fun with them. Like, those songs are for Pentagon and Pentagon fans. So sorry that you just don't get it. And yeah, it's a red flag if you hate those songs, because that means that you don't stand Pentagon, and that's a red flag.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like if you don't like those songs and you're in the Pentagon fandom, even like, wow, that's an incredible red flag. Because I feel like if you stand Pentagon, you get those songs and you like them and they are iconic. And if you don't stand Pentagon, it at least is like not your business then to dislike them. Like, it's like, it's not, it doesn't have anything to do with you, like, those aren't songs that's like going to be playing on the radio. Like, calm down, it's for the people that get it.
Yeah.
So I get that. Actually, yeah, I totally get that. Big red flag. Because sometimes I'll make stuff and I'll post it on the internet. You're welcome. I'll post it on the internet and it's like for the people who get it,
Oh,
and if you don't get it, it's like you don't need to criticize it. It's for fun thing that's like, I know is weird. They know everybody knows that it's weird. And it's like, it's just for fun. It's not there for people that like have no business taking in that sort of content anyway, to be like, this was actually not really my cup of tea.
Right, exactly.
So very valid. I like that. Okay. I guess this one kind of builds off of that. Like, all of mine are getting to a point where I'm like, I don't know if I should say this one. I don't know if I should say this one. They're not that bad. Here's one that I feel like is just sort of building off of like a personal red flag that I have. Like, I'm tying it to K-pop, but it really can just be in general. Leaving, like, this is a red flag, is if you leave critical comments on a music video or really just on like a K-pop group's like content. And I don't necessarily, like, if you're out there wanting to be like, the company, it's ridiculous that they did this or something, and that sort of critical comment. But I mean, like, I didn't actually like this one very much because of blah, 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 blah. And you're like criticizing their work. I just feel like nobody actually wants to hear that in comment sections. Unless like they ask for it.
Right. Like, directly at the source.
Yes.
That's a bit of a red flag.
Because, like, we share our opinions on comebacks, music videos, those sorts of things all the time. But we're sharing it in a place that is like our place where we're saying, this is where we're going to share our opinion on this. The comments is just, I feel like it's so, like it leaves a bad taste in the mouth to be leaving comments that are negative towards the thing that's right there, right below it. Like, I just feel like comments, I get that they can be any type of comment, that, you know, you're allowed to do whatever you want. But for me personally, anytime that I see critical comments right underneath the thing, I'm always just like, why'd they have to do that? Like,
Yeah.
I would just put it somewhere else if you're going to say it.
Yeah, you know where I see that a lot, actually? Well, not like a lot. I don't read comments. Like, I'm not a comment reader. But, like, it is noticeable sometimes on music show performances.
Oh, God.
There'll be, like, negativity or, like, this stage is, like, bad or something like that. Or, like, the vocals are awful. Like, I know that's a thing that happens frequently on not just music videos, but, like, stuff like that, too.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that sort of thing. And I feel like you know, it's like if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all sort of vibe. Like, if a person like walks into the room and you don't like their outfit, you don't just say, I don't like your outfit, you know? It's like, just don't say anything, or like talk about it when you get home and you're like, oh, this person's outfit today was really kind of, ugh, I did not like it. But it's like fine, because it's, people are going to say stuff like that sometimes, you know, they're going to say stuff, but you don't have to say it to the person's face. But that makes me sound like I'm saying bad about people behind their back, which I'm also not saying. I'm saying if it's probably lighthearted enough stuff anyway, like, you know, people are going to have opinions like that. It's not that serious. But just because it's not that serious doesn't mean that the person themselves wants to hear it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. My next red flag is pretty, like, different from yours. It's not really related at all. But this is just the one that I'm going to say. And it's a red flag if you think that matching outfits are cringe. And
Ooh, okay.
let me elaborate. I mean, like I'm saying this is a red flag because, you know, I feel like that's a common boy band trope that, or like a stereotype that gets mocked. It's like, oh, everybody's got the matching outfits on. And I'm like, and that's like a big part of K-pop is groups will go out and wear the same outfit, have the same theme, same colors, or maybe like there'll be slight personal adjustments to the outfits, and I think that can be really fun. It can be a bit much. I'm not going to argue and say 100% of the time it's great, but you know, if you're like, oh, that's so cringy that they're all wearing the same thing, that's just that's a red flag.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I guess I would rather see matching outfits than everyone coordinating really well except one person randomly having something that just completely doesn't go, which I see all the time. It's like every single person is going to be wearing denim jeans and white tops. And then there's this one person that's wearing a white top with black pants. And it's like, what?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Do you not know sports teams? Like, they have uniforms, like cheerleading, soccer, like they've got jerseys, and you know, I don't understand. It's like a dance troupe. Like, if you think of it as a dance troupe wearing the same outfit, I feel like it's not cringe at all. You're just being weird about it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, if people do like a dance recital, like at the, you know, they all have a costume, and they go on stage, like it usually the same costume. That's crazy. Okay, watch me segue. Okay. I think that it's a red flag if you have a non-matching profile picture and or name, like if you're a fan site especially. Like if you've got like you're saying that you are for this one person, but then you've got like, you know, a different person in some other aspect of your profile. Whoa.
Okay,
like I'm not even here for the fan sites and stuff, you know, like I don't follow that or anything, but I just am like, I lost all faith in you for being like a fan of that person because you've got more than one thing there. And I thought your whole brand if you are that kind of fan, is to be like, you know, the
Yeah.
ultimate fan of that one person or that one group.
Okay, yeah. I have seen stuff like that before, and I'm kind of like, okay, all right.
So yeah, like I don't actually care at all if you like more than one person or whatever. But if you're like trying to brand yourself as like a, you know, fan site or something of this one person, you gotta go all the way.
Yeah, and I'm going to make an adjacent call out. This was not a red flag on my list, but you've made me like think of this.
Okay.
People on Weverse will have like, you can change your nickname and stuff for each community that you're in, but it's a red flag when I see people like, say somebody would be in the ampers&one Weverse with like, you know, a different group's profile, like a different group's photo as their profile picture. I'm kind of like, is that even allowed? Like that shouldn't, you shouldn't be allowed to do that. Or like if their nickname, usually there's nickname rules, like especially like Fan Cafe, you could never do that. You have to have everything related directly to that artist. So it's a red flag. If you're in that community, you've got to make the nickname suitable for that community. It's different than Twitter.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I feel like I totally get that, because like maybe people don't, because a lot of people on Weverse didn't experience Fan Cafe, so they don't know how different it is to be like on the fans sort of like social space.
Yeah, like you're in their direct community, like it's specifically for that group, and you can adjust it for whatever group, like whatever group's community you're in.
Yeah, so like if you like, I feel like maybe people are like using it a little more casually, like they want to just like pop in and like, you know, see what's up. But if you're in that, you're supposed to be like a fan. And if you're a fan, then you're going to show your support by changing your things properly and having it coordinate. Like,
or like, you know, either have default nothingness or like something personal to you, or make it related to that artist.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Because I don't ever go to those places really, so I don't see that much stuff about that. But that makes perfect sense.
Okay, and to like say another one that I actually did have on my list, this one, it could be a little bit spicy because a lot of people do this, and I do it personally as well, but I need to be more specific about it. But the red flag is if you like excessively or like exclusively call idols by their real name when they have a stage name, and you refuse to ever use their stage name. And so I just want to say they have stage names for a reason. I can understand when it could be like helpful if you like want it to, like if you need to differentiate between two idols or something, or if you're trying to help the searches like make it easier to find something about that idol, so you're going to call them their real name because their stage name is too much of like a general word type of thing. But I'm talking if you like say that to their face, or like, you know, especially when they say, oh, can you like use my stage name? Or if you're like, I don't like your stage name, so I'm not going to use that ever. But like, I'll definitely say like, yeah, I've called New Chan plenty of times, and like I think that's whatever, like the members call him that too. But Kino from Pentagon has said, you can call me Kino when I'm on stage, and you can call me my real name other times. I guess that's fine. So that's fine, but red flag if you just refuse to ever use the stage name.
I agree. I have thought since the beginning of me knowing about K-pop and stage names, I have thought it was always a little bit weird to see people use their real names, like idols' real names, so often. I got a little more, because I was like, isn't their name, you know, isn't his name RM, not Namjoon? Like, why is everyone calling him Namjoon? Or isn't his name, I don't know. Didn't mean to have two of the same ones, but these ones come up so often, too similar, because I said RM and now I'm going to say I am. But everyone's always calling him Changkyun all the time. And I was like, why doesn't anyone ever call him I Am? Like, that's his stage name. And I feel like it's especially weird for rappers, because I feel like rappers that have a stage name is such a huge part of their identity.
Yeah.
Like, they use and say their name so much, their stage name. So, but then I was like, I guess I get it a little bit when people are really like sort of using it as a juxtaposition of their like sort of stage persona, and then they're like, you know, normal everyday sort of person.
Yeah.
I get that, but yeah, I think that in general, I feel like people should be using stage names over real names, honestly. Like, when I talk about YouTubers and stuff, I call them by their full name, or I call them by their, it's not a stage name. What would you call it?
Like
By their
screen
username,
name
screen name. Yeah. Like, I don't even often say the name that I hear most often because like their friends are calling them their regular name. But I usually call them by their like the name that they have chosen to be called by the public, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah. Like, I know a lot of people don't want to call the 8 from 17 the 8.
What?
But I'm like, that one especially is like, he's making 8s all the time, and like the position and like, you know, the order of their names, like he's like, oh, let me make mine be the 8th because I'm the 8. Like, his is such a big part of his like stage, you know, his you know, it's such a big part of his brand. Yet
Yeah.
people don't ever want to call him that. So it just seems a little bit weird. It's a
The
little
8's
bit
name
of a
is
red
iconic.
flag.
Yeah, I know, it's a big red flag.
Yeah, it's a big red flag.
The 8's name is iconic, but I do also love calling him Ming Hao.
Mm.
Just because I think it's fun. Yeah, I get it. I think you can use either name if the idol is fine with you using either name, but I do think it's a red flag if you're refusing to use the stage name.
Yes.
Or if you like heavily focus on their regular name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this one, please take it a little bit lighthearted because it's not really that big of a deal, okay? But I know there's a large group of people that could be upset with me.
Okay.
But it's not that big of a deal, okay? It's kind of like, that's kind of a red flag, a little bit. It depends on the situation, I suppose. But if you say you like K-pop, but you're strictly a hardcore BTS fan,
Ooh.
oh, I don't know if you like K-pop. I think you like BTS.
Okay.
You know, like
yeah.
I feel like you should, like that would be like saying you love heavy metal, but there's only one, like the most popular heavy metal, I don't even know what it is. The most popular heavy metal band is the only one that you know about, the only one that you like, the only one that you will support. Then I don't really think you like heavy metal that much. I think you just like that one band.
Okay.
So like if people are like, oh, I like K-pop, but they're really literally devoted to BTS and that is it. If you say, oh, I like K-pop, I know BTS, and it's casual, I don't have as much of a problem with it because you're not saying like, I like K-pop.
Yeah.
But if you're like devoted to BTS, but you advertise as liking K-pop, I think there's a disconnect.
Yes. Yes.
So I would be like, red flag. Take a second, reflect. Do you really like K-pop?
I have something similar.
Okay.
It could be a bit controversial, but should it be? The red flag would be if you only listen to English K-pop songs or like English versions of K-pop songs. Yet you're like, oh, I love K-pop. And if you're only like listening to the English versions, I'm kind of like, do you like the K-pop though? Or what?
Yeah, no, I feel that. Or I'd even expand it to like the English versions and or songs that were like promoted in the West. So like they're showing up on your radio, you know, like the most like Western promoted tracks available are the ones that you really like. I'd say like, I feel like you like K-pop, maybe like you're getting there, but like you're not really like, you're still liking it in a mainstream sense.
Yeah, it's like you, I guess it would be more so like, yeah, because that, yeah, you say you're getting there. Yeah, it could be a good introductory point.
Yeah.
If it's like, you know, if you speak English, that's the language that's familiar to you, sure. And it's like, you know, you like the pop sound. But if like you refuse to listen to the Korean versions, then that's like more than a red flag. That's kind of like problematic.
Yeah. Yeah, like if you're like, I only like the English version. Like I've listened to the other stuff, but all that I care about are the English versions of songs.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's that's a pretty big one. That's a pretty big red flag. Okay, is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. This next one, please, once again, don't take it too seriously, but like, you know, in the same way that people will judge people very harshly if they say that their favorite pizza is pineapple pizza, right? Because they're like, I just don't get that. It's just not my taste. Red flag, what are you thinking? I'm going to say if your alt is JYP, a red flag for me. I just don't understand how out of every idol and or group ever, if you're picking JYP as your alt, the tastes just are not going to align for us.
Okay.
So red flag.
Okay. All right. I've got another red flag, and that's thinking that big four or popular groups have the best music or like, you know, best quality music or best quality anything just because they're from a big company or just because they're popular. And like you're insistent on that. It's like, well, this is clearly good because they're popular. They're from a huge company. Of course it's good. Like red flag. That doesn't make any sense.
Mainstream mindset on that one there. That seems like a very you haven't opened your mind to the small groups yet. And when you open your mind to the small groups, wow, things are going to change for you.
Yeah. I just feel like it's important to have your own taste and form your own opinions on something and not just, you know, take whatever is delivered right to you.
You know what I think that happens with a lot is like fashion and clothing. I feel like a lot of the times people that don't really know like their style or like they don't have a strong opinion on fashion like in their heart and in their soul, they'll go to the fancier clothing, the fancier brands and just be like, there, I am fashionable, I'm wearing something stylish. But they're like, they didn't have the taste, you know, in their own sense. Yeah, I feel like that must be a go-to of a way for people to like cope, I guess, of like not knowing, you know.
Okay.
So they're just like, oh, the top tier, the top, you know, the most expensive stuff must be the best stuff because I don't know.
Yeah, that does happen.
Okay, I've got one last red flag prepared for today, and I'm going to bring it back around to something wholesome, something nice, so that their palate can be cleansed from the spicier takes that I gave. It's a bit of a red flag for me personally if you hate Moonrise by TIOT, the song and or music video. I don't understand what you're doing, what you're watching. Like, that's like saying you hate puppies, you know? It's like, why? Like, yes.
Okay, very on brand. Honestly, unexpected, but very on brand.
I mean, honestly, like, I would be like, I don't understand you anymore because there's no reason to hate that. There's no reason to hate it.
It's a very good song. It's very good.
But even if you don't care about it, don't hate it.
Yeah. Well, I will say one more red flag for today's episode, and that red flag would be not liking CIX cinema.
Ooh, okay.
Because it's a masterpiece and you have to like it. It's just perfect. It's perfect in every way. And if you don't like the song, if you don't like the dance, if you don't like the music video, honestly, the styling too, like it's all part of it. It's all the packaged deal. And if you don't like CIX Cinema, it is a red flag.
Now, is that an actively dislike or just a not actively liking?
It's simply like not actively liking. Like,
oh, so
and obviously actively disliking.
Well, right.
That like goes hand in hand, right?
So I was a red flag at some point?
Well, honestly, yes.
Oh no. Yeah, well, I got there. Cinema is...
That's what counts.
Wow.
Now's your chance. Now's your chance, everyone.
Yeah,
if you
everyone...
don't like CX Cinema.
It can be your time
start.
too. Because at first I was like, I don't really care. Sure, whatever. This song, fine. But now I'm like, man, wow, it's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I totally get it. Once I found the sheesh undertones to the beat, there was no going back. Okay, well, that's going to wrap up our K-pop red flags for today. We may at some point come back with more red flags because honestly, there's surely an endless supply. So
Yeah.
if you guys really liked this, we'll be even more inclined to come back for them. Please remember that it's not to be taken too seriously,
Please don't attack us in the comments.
It's really not to be taken seriously. If anything, if we said something that you thought like you can't believe is a red flag, you can just be like, whoa, that's crazy that you think that's a red flag. Not serious, Like you don't have to be like, wow, I actually can't believe that you would think that's a red flag because
yeah. Oh, please.
You don't need, I mean, you can do that if you want because, you're allowed to do whatever you want, but it's not very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a red flag if you leave a comment like that because we're like clearly stating that this is not, we're not being like that, so you don't need to be like that to us, please and thank you.
We're literally having fun. It's literally casual. Can you not tell?
But you could leave us a comment if you enjoyed the episode, and you can share some K-pop red flags of your own, but try to keep it not like super serious.
Yeah,
or something
super
like
attacking or problematic or anything. Keep it lighthearted, please.
Yeah, and we might also come back not just with more red flags, but we'll probably do K-pop green flags at some point, so you can look forward to that. And if you once again enjoyed this episode, please like the video on YouTube and rate us positively wherever you might be listening to the podcast. And honestly, I have one more red flag.
Ooh,
and
bonus.
That's if you are not subscribed to BlushCat channel, because you should be subscribed to BlushCat, and if you aren't already, you can go ahead and subscribe on YouTube and turn on notifications so that you don't miss any of our hot, wonderful, perfect, amazing, flawless, all that's a joke, but is it really? You'll have to find out, content.
Lovely.
So yes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Meowers, for listening. Thank you for meowing. Stay meowing. This has been Fury X-atron.
And me. Bye.
Meow, 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 meow.